and I'm back with another video, and this one is, look, excuse the way I look. I got my Skims robe on, my faja, and a tank top, so I'm just giving very much comfy today, but we're gonna go jump right into it. If you see me looking down at my iPad, it's because I had to write down some things. So these are the things that the girlies don't tell you about when getting a BBL. I watched BBL videos for like 2 years. Once I got my BBL, I was like, now wait a second. Wait a damn minute. Y'all girls left this out. This is in no particular order. Number one, getting a BBL is like a birthing plan. I never had a child before, but I've watched TVs, right? I watch TV, I watch movies, and no matter how much you've planned, shit can hit the fan. No matter how much you plan, something can hit the fan, and something can and probably will go off track. I don't want to say wrong, but off track, that you did not plan for that to happen. So know this. That is rule number one. And if you watch my BBL vlog, you know exactly what I'm referring to. But I just want y'all to know, like, any and everything can happen. Just like when women have birthing plans and then their water breaks a week early or a week late or whatever. Just know that. Second is, do not measure yourself. So once you get your surgery, do not begin measuring yourself, because you're going to be very swollen. And I did not measure myself until 2 weeks after surgery. So if you can hold off to 2 weeks to 3 weeks after surgery, I think that is the perfect time to measure yourself, because before then you're going to be super swollen anyway, and you're going to want to stay out of the mirror, because you're going to start kind of like obsessing over your body. When you get off the table, you're going to be very, very swollen, and the body that you're looking at now is not going to be the body that you have. Kind of like when I got my lips done, it's literally the same way. Surgery is the exact same. It gets worse before it gets better. So keep that in mind. 3 is, you're gonna have so many haters and so many people judging you off of plastic surgery. I've literally had complete strangers tell me that I don't love myself because I got plastic surgery, all while they're DMing me about how to get away from a man that they're sleeping with who disrespects them. Like, I literally had to make a video. I was like, wait, this is where y'all draw the line, but half of y'all don't. You know what? I digress. So just know that you're going to have haters. You're going to have friends that say slick comments and slick stuff. Like, it is going to, like, you're going to be very surprised about it. Like, your own friends. I remember telling, like, my own friend that I was getting surgery, and the first thing out of her mouth was, I hope you won't look crazy. Girl, what? Number 4, however much money you saved already or you plan on saving, double it. Like, I feel like people get on YouTube and they constantly talk about how much was your surgery, sis? When girls ask me that, how much was your surgery? How much was your surgery? Like, girl, my surgery ain't got nothing to do with how much you're really about to be paying. So I feel like girls really think about how much they need to save up for surgery without thinking about everything that comes with the surgery and everything that you're gonna have to pay for after the surgery. So if your surgery is $5,000, you need $10,000 to $12,000. So really, a rule of thumb is you need $15,000 to $20,000. $15,000 to $20,000 is how much you are going to need for this huge investment. Because let me tell you, once you get off that table, the money does not stop there. Another thing is that your body, like I said before, your body changes, because I wrote these down. Your body is definitely going to change. And then I have another thing is that the girlies did not mention, your limbs can possibly go numb. One day I woke up, this is day 4, I woke up and I was in excruciating pain on my stomach, but I could not feel both my legs and I could not feel both my arms, and I was crying profusely. I did not know what was going on with me, and when I told my doctor that, he was like, oh yeah, that's normal. And I'm like, wait, what you mean that's normal? That's not normal. So your limbs can possibly go numb. That's one thing. Another thing is not being able to wipe yourself. I was not able to wipe myself for, I was down in Miami for 10 days. I wasn't able to wipe myself like 7 days. like really like 7 days. I could not wipe myself. I couldn't, the thing is, I could not reach, like I could not do this motion right here because of, I did not even get any arm lipo. Just where the incisions and everything were, because my incisions are kind of under my arm, I was not able to move my arm back to even wipe myself. So I was like, wait, why did none of the girlies say anything about that? I saw like one girl mentioning, shout out to my best friend because she wiped me, but it was like, girl, you didn't tell nobody like you really could not wipe yourself for like days. Like, I'm thinking your best friend was like wiping you as like a little like pat dry bath or something. Another thing is, if you're getting surgery for hip dips, because that's what I got my surgery for, I really was just wanting to fill in my hip dips. That was my main reason as to why I got a BBL. My doctor told me straight up, well, one, my hip dips were very, very, very dramatic. They were very deep. Not everybody's hip dips are the same. He told me that every woman, every person has hip dips, but some people's hip dips are more dramatic than others, but everyone has them. So depending on how dramatic your hip dips are, you're going to need 2 rounds of a BBL to actually fill them completely. So I do have he filled my hip dips, but they literally came back within 7 days, and they didn't come back to where how they looked before. So they are like a lot less. So like, I'm happy with what I got. Like, I have hip dips, but they're very small. It's nowhere near where it was before. But he did tell me, sis, you're gonna need 2 rounds. Half of those wish pics, half of those girls on Instagram, half of those girls on Snapchat, TikTok, whatever that y'all see, they go through multiple rounds of surgery. That's not no 1 round of a BBL. So just keep that in mind. Especially if you're looking for like wish pics. I wouldn't look for wish pics because people's bodies are not necessarily made like your body that you already have. So I would just recommend going to a doctor that you want to talk about areas that you want to improve and listen to what your doctor has to say, much like I did. So there are different techniques for different types of fat injections depending on where you're getting your surgery. Now, if you're getting your surgery in the United States, most doctors in the United States inject the fat a certain way, and then some doctors in the DR do it a certain way, some doctors in Colombia do it a certain way. That's why you see a lot of girls and hear a lot of girls, oh, I went to the DR, my doctor told me to sit immediately. Or you hear girls, oh, my doctor told me to wait 6 weeks. Oh, my doctor told me to wait 4 weeks. Because the way they inject the fat with different techniques and under different layers of the skin, muscle, below the muscle, above the muscle, however they decide to do that, differs from your fat loss, if that makes sense. And I feel like people just automatically think like, oh, I can't wait, I can't sit for 4 weeks. But it's not necessarily that. I was doing a lot of research. It depends on how your doctor injects the fat. So when doctors are blaming, oh, you sat too soon, that's why you lost a lot of your fat, it's no, your fat cells probably absorbed because your doctor only placed the fat right here instead of here, here, and here, if that makes sense. Next thing is shape your belly button. Now, I didn't have to do this because my belly button was very oversized. Y'all know I've talked about this before. I had a very oversized belly button. I actually got 2 belly button piercings because my belly button was so oversized. It's always been like that, and because I got liposuction, now my belly button is a normal size belly button. Now, if you're a regular person and you have a normal size belly button, you want to shape your belly button, you're going to want to put a marble and some tape or buy a belly button shaper from Amazon to shape your belly button. You don't want to be walking around with the lipo belly buttons. I might insert some pictures. Everybody has seen a lipo belly button. Half of these celebrities have lipo belly buttons because I guess they just didn't shape their belly button. You don't want your belly button to like collapse and just become like super straight and like a little frowny face, or like super skinny and narrow that way, because most doctors are going through the belly button for liposuction, which is why that happened. Another thing is hot flashes are normal, which I was like, why didn't nobody tell me this? Literally, I watched videos for like 2 years and like stuff was just happening and I was like, what the heck? So hot flashes are completely normal. I was getting them, like all of a sudden I would get super hot and I would start sweating, and I asked my doctor, he's like, yeah, that's normal. That I could not stand. It happens a lot less now, but before, within the first week of surgery, it happened so often. I want to say like every 30 minutes, as you're going to feel electric shocks through your body. Like when I say electric shock, like it's going to be like some electromagnetic type of feel, and it's really just your nerves reconnecting, your brain we're not going to get too much deep into science in the video, but it's basically because you had surgery, your nerves are, I don't want to say damaged, but basically they are, and your body has to reconnect your nerves. Your brain has to send signals to your nerves and everything to rebuild them. And so you're going to literally feel, I felt every 30 minutes an electric shock go down my body. I kid you not. And it was very uncomfortable to the fact where it's like I couldn't move when this was happening. It felt like I was getting shocked from the inside out, and it was actually pretty painful. And that's normal. The girlies didn't mention shots. So when I got my BBL, I was prescribed shots. If you're a girly that does not like shots and injecting herself, I'm sorry to use this, because I don't like injecting myself. I actually could not inject myself with my own shots. My mom had to do it, the nurse had to do it, and they did it at my post-op. I got 8 of these shots, and they're essentially blood thinner to help with blood clotting, so your blood won't clot. And you literally have to do the shots once a day, and you have to alternate. If you do it on this arm one day, this arm the next day, this thigh one day, this thigh the next day, and you have to alternate again, just like that. You can't continue to do the shots in the same arm, because something about like some scar tissue or something will build up. It was just like a huge warning sign on the label, and I was like, let me just follow directions. So I thought that was a little weird. Another thing is the skin peeling. My skin now, tomorrow I will be 4 weeks post-op, and my skin peeling is so bad. Y'all, when I take off my faja, it's literally just layers of skin in my faja. When I have to wash my faja, my skin peels so bad. It doesn't matter what I put on it. I called the post-op people. First of all, they call me a lot. They call me once a week. So I'll probably get another call from them tomorrow. But when they called me, I told them about my skin, and they told me right now to only put pure petroleum jelly, pure Vaseline, not the lotion Vaseline, the Vaseline jar. And that's what I use. I put that on twice a day, y'all, and my skin still peels. And apparently that is normal. When you are getting surgery, you're going to have to do labs before surgery. Now, every doctor is different, but be prepared to do labs at 60 days and labs at 30 days or labs at just 30 days. I had to get an EKG, a chest x-ray, a urine comprehensive sample, and a blood, and all my blood work done at the 60 days. And then at the 30 days, I had to do the urine and the blood again. Now, if you don't have health insurance, your budget needs to go up by $5,000. So when I already recommended $15,000 to $20,000, you need to add $5,000 on top of that if you don't have health insurance, girly, because you're going to have to pay out of pocket for all of these things. And EKGs and x-rays, that's not something that's cheap. Now, the surgery centers usually do have where you can purchase low cost blood work through them. At Spectrum, it was $85. So that is pretty cheap if you don't have, like I said, if you don't have health insurance. But everything else you will have to pay for, and it starts to add up. Another thing, because you are doing 60 and 30 days blood work, listen to me and listen to me carefully. When you are taking this iron, you're going to start taking iron at 60 days. When you start taking iron at 60 days, this iron will possibly, more than likely, give you a yeast infection. Because this iron will give you a yeast infection, this will show up in your lab work. And the surgery center possibly will contact you and say, girl, you got a yeast infection. We're not going to do surgery if you have a yeast infection. Now, if this happens at your 60-day labs, if you so happen to take iron before 60 days and you get your 60-day labs and you have a yeast infection, that's okay, because you're 60 days away from surgery. Now, when this happens at your 30 days, mind you, 30 days is the last time that you get all your blood work and all your urine sample into them. When this happens at 30 days, y'all, they are going to almost, I don't want to say cancel you, but they're going to be like, you're going to have to do this again and show us the fact that you don't have a yeast infection before we can even move forward. So just know that there is a very, 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 very strong possibility if you're taking liquid iron, you will have a yeast infection. So you need to be doing, honestly, let me tell you how I got around this. If you get a yeast infection or a UTI, literally both of them, one or two or both, because I ended up having both. And I ended up getting antibiotics from like Teladoc. I would just say do a Teladoc and honestly just show them your lab work and say, look, there it is. You can see I got yeast infection, and they'll just give you some antibiotics, and you can take the antibiotics before your surgery, but you have to do that before you reach Miami or wherever you're going. That gets a lot of girlies. It gets a lot of girlies, and it gets actually very stressful. And after you get surgery, like I said, you're going to be very swollen. So parts of you that even did not get operated on are going to get swollen. To this day, like I said, tomorrow I'm 4 weeks post-op. When I wake up in the morning, I look hit. My eyes are still very swollen. Your eyes are going to be swollen. Your nose may spread. Your lips may be swollen. Your face is going to be swollen, especially right after surgery. My kitty was swollen. My kitty was swollen. Like, she looked huge. And at one point in my draining process, one lip was bigger than the other. And that's normal. So just know your kitty might be swollen. She might be swollen just from fluid. Another thing is, do not get smaller fajas. As you get smaller, you might be tempted, or someone may tell you, oh, just go get a smaller faja. Girl, stay in that faja. Stay in that faja because you want to keep your hips, you want to keep your butt. You're just going to have to get that faja altered. Would I recommend anyone being like me? Probably not. You are supposed to stay in your first stage faja for 7 to 10 days and then changing your stage 2 faja. Now, I changed in my stage 2 faja the day after, not the day after surgery, but the day after that. So within 2 days, I lied. I changed into my stage 2 faja the day after surgery, not 2 days. I went into my stage 2 faja. Within 2 days, I was in a stage 2. I don't recommend. Simply because if you are changing to your stage 2 faja way too soon, well, one, listen to your body. I was able to handle it, but I feel like I would have been a lot more comfortable if I would have just stayed in my stage 1 faja. Your stage 2 faja is, you don't have to be in a rush to get in that thing, sis, because if you're super swollen and you're stuffing yourself in that faja, it's going to be super painful. It's going to be so painful. Like, I was in so much pain. My abdomen, if I laid down, I was in so much pain. I had the boards in too. I had the foam and the boards in and a stage 2 faja 2 days after my surgery. I know, sis was just wild. And I was in so much pain because of it. So that's another thing. If they try to get you to switch to your stage 2 faja way too soon, I would say maybe try to at least wait 4-5 days. If I waited like 4 days, I feel like that would have been a bit better. But the day after 2 days, girl, hang it up. Another thing is, watch your blood pressure. Now, when you are going into the surgery facility, of course, they're going to do a COVID test. Of course, they're going to do a pregnancy test. Again, they're going to do a drug test. They're going to do this on your pre-op, and they're also going to do this the day of surgery. Well, you only get the COVID test once, but they're going to do the blood test, the pregnancy test, and the drug test, and check your vitals, of course, pre-op and the day of surgery. Now, when they check your vitals the day of surgery, you all, please try your best to calm down, because if your blood pressure is any type of high, they will cancel your surgery. They will not let you get on the operating table if your blood pressure is high. So if you're very nervous and your blood pressure is like kind of wacky, sis, you can get canceled because of that. So try your best to just, like, for me, I'm usually like that. Even if I go to the doctor and I'm the slightest bit stressed out, it shows up in my blood pressure. So I was very scared that was going to happen to me, and I literally just breathe in through your nose 4 counts, breathe out through your mouth 4 counts. Literally just calm yourself down. Protect your peace before surgery. I haven't heard anyone mention this, but surgery, the physical aspect, I can talk about like times over and do many videos. I will be doing many videos on the physical aspect of surgery, but the mental aspect of surgery is something that is just as important and just as big, if not bigger. I remember waking up from surgery. I was in excruciating pain, and I kept repeating to myself, pain is temporary weakness leaving the body. Pain is temporary weakness. Like, I literally, not my aka behind, but yeah, I kept repeating that to myself to remind myself. But throughout the whole healing process of fake friends, of haters, and just being sad, I couldn't have my hair done, my nails not being done, not being a social person, because I am a social person, not being able to film, not being able to interact with my supporters on TikTok, not having the strength or the energy to do things, feeling helpless because I couldn't do simple things like wipe myself, I couldn't do simple things like shower myself. I felt it took a toll on me mentally. And so if you have any mental health, I don't want to say issues, but if you struggled with mental health in the past and they ask you about that for surgery, you can't get canceled from that, because if you already are diagnosed with X, Y, and Z, and you tell them that when they ask you about the mental health section part of your surgery, they will cancel you. And I always wondered, like, why would they do that? But going through it, if I was already depressed before surgery, I wouldn't know. There would have been no way. So just mentally protect your peace before surgery. Be in the right spirits before surgery. I'm talking about not even just a day before surgery. Like, you need to start doing that in a month before surgery. And even though, like I said, you can plan for everything, going through it is one thing. And just keep your spirits high. Protect yourself, your mind at all costs, y'all. Like, if you don't get anything else from this video, get that. Protect yourself and your mind at all costs. Listen to whatever the doctor tells you. Listen to whatever your post-op people tell you, your post-op department. Take your post-op care very serious, because this is serious. Like, girls be going on surgery and then next thing you know, you see them twerking on a boat and they just had surgery a week ago. Like, this is still very much serious. 2 weeks, 14 days, you can still be developing blood clots. You can still be getting embolism. Like, take it serious. Just because you left Miami does not mean that you're in the clear. Like, oh, I could walk now, I'm in the clear. Like, no, baby, you're not in the clear. You still just had surgery. You still had a major surgery. Please. The last thing I had on this list was my butt being rock hard. My butt was rock hard. When I went number 2, like, it was the worst thing ever, because my butt was so hard that I know it sounds like too much information, but y'all have to know this. Y'all have to know this. For the love of God, somebody gotta say it. When you go number 2, right after surgery, whatever day you decide to go number 2, probably you won't be able to wipe yourself. So whoever gotta wipe you, just let them know that your butt is gonna be hard. If they're already professional that you've hired to take care of you, they already know your butt's gonna be hard. But if it's like your mama, your friend, your lover, who else, your butt is going to be so hard, and it's going to be so hard to wipe yourself because the butt is so hard. Like, it doesn't move. It doesn't move for you to, it just, yeah. And then the last thing that I have is that we're not gonna talk about my nails. Just kidding. The absolute last thing for me to tell you all is, if you are going to Miami, you need to make sure and realize that they can only take out 4 liters of fat. I will say that again, 4 liters of fat. So when you have ladies adding on different areas of liposuction, keep that in mind. They're complaining about, oh, I still have a lot of fat on my stomach, but then they don't realize that they added arm lipo, chin lipo, leg lipo. So that means that the doctor has to make room, right, for those 4 liters to take out of other areas. So he could have taken, I don't know, maybe 1,000 cc's out of your abdomen, but because you added on arm lipo and thigh lipo, he has to take less, if that makes sense. So please keep that in mind if you are getting surgery in the US. There's only so much fat that they can take out, no matter how many areas of liposuction you prefer or get. We're not gonna talk about my nails, but you only need one hand with no acrylic, no nail polish, no nothing. The other can have it. Y'all, the lady who, I want y'all to see this, the lady who did my nails, she needs to be in jail. I still haven't been able to take it off, but I got somebody traveling to my home on Saturday to do my nails. But anyway, you only need one hand with no acrylics. And then also, if you have any piercings that, the type of piercings that surface heal, the type of piercings that if you take out and they close, just get some plastic retainers to put in there. So for my belly button piercing, I just took that out. That's fine. It's just that the metal during surgery is a no-go. But you can have plastic ones in, so don't fret. Don't be like, oh my gosh, what about my nose piercing? Oh my gosh, what about this piercing? Girl, get you a plastic retainer. That you can get it on Amazon, or you can get it at Spencer's. Is that still a store? I think that's still so. Get a Hot Topic, get it at the Piercing Pagoda or wherever. But like, yeah, so I hope y'all really enjoyed this video. I know it was a lot, but I just feel like it was a lot that y'all needed to know. Like and follow and comment for more, and I'll see y'all next time. Oh,